Now I'm going to cut your shirt sleeve and make sure there isn't any glass still in the cut. Okay, I'm going to need a pressure dressing. Now I'm going to hold pressure on your arm here and put a dressing over it, okay? I know this may be scary, but I'm going to take good care of you. Now in this case, we're talking about arterial bleeding. Arterial bleeding is mostly noted by the fact that it's a large amount of it, number one. Number two, it pulsates or actually even spurts. And so what we did here is we revealed the wound so we knew what we were working with, obviously saw the arterial spurt, and then immediately you might have seen that I was able to cover it with my hand, my gloved hand first. Now one note here is that we're obviously around broken glass. So as a rescuer, it's important to keep yourself safe as well by noting where you're kneeling. Are you in glass itself? Don't become another victim. But then immediately direct pressure over the wound as long as there's not protruding objects coming out of it. And then as soon as possible, able to get a bandage to put over the wound with direct pressure. We're no longer elevating above the heart, nor are we using pressure points. We're using direct pressure and then moving to possible tourniquet consideration if the person's life is in danger. But in most cases, and in my experience as a paramedic, direct pressure with a pressure dressing is usually substantially enough to be able to control even the most major arterial bleeds and to be able to get that bleeding to stop and control it until we get the patient to definitive care at the hospital where they can repair the wound in a definitive manner. So we put this direct pressure here on the arm. We make sure that we're not getting any more seepage. If it keeps soaking through, we're going to grab yet another 4x4 or a 5x9 gauze bandage and direct pressure there. Then, once we believe the bleeding is under control, we can now move to a gauze dressing. Now, if you're not confident to be able to use a gauze dressing, you could just hold direct pressure, call 911. Obviously, if it's an arterial bleed, it is enough to call an ambulance or call 911. In this case, we've controlled the bleeding. She's not cool, pale, sweaty, or showing signs of shock. We're setting her down because she might get a little lightheaded and we don't want her to fall down. But then we're going to go ahead and start with our gauze bandage. We're going to start at the distal end or the furthest away from the patient's body. We're going to start wrapping off the bandage and then kind of wrap around the bandage until we get to the top. Then we can bring it back down again. And then once we have it covered, we can cut the cling, get a piece of tape, or even just tuck this into a part of the bandage just so that it doesn't unravel. Now it's going to be important for us to get the patient carefully into either the vehicle that we're going to bring her in or wait for EMS to arrive. While we're waiting for EMS to arrive, we're going to look for other injuries that we may not have noticed right away, and we're going to check her breathing, her circulation. We're going to make sure she's not going into a form of shock that we might actually have to support with laying her down, covering her with a sheet coat or blanket, which we're going to cover under shock. But in this case, we've got the bleeding under control and we're doing pretty well.